1980 AMC Eagle. The 1980 AMC Eagle was born decades before the term crossover even existed, yet it laid the groundwork for the entire segment. Built on a unibody platform, the vehicle had a sedan and wagon body style, paired with a raised suspension and full-time four-wheel drive. At its core was a viscous couplings center differential that distributed torque between the axles without any driver input, a rarity even among 4x4 trucks of the time. This setup gave the car reliable traction in poor weather conditions, while retaining the comfort, fuel efficiency, and handling of a traditional passenger vehicle. Though it didn't boast impressive power or torque, its true value lay in redefining versatility. The Eagle quietly arrived more than a decade before the Subaru Outback and other modern crossovers. Despite its impact, the AMC Eagle is rarely credited as a pioneer of the crossover segment. (1971) Imperial. The 1971 Imperial marked a major leap forward in automotive safety with the SureBrake system, the first electronic four-wheel anti-lock braking system on a production car. Developed by Bendix, SureBrake used wheel speed sensors and an integrated electronic controller to detect when a wheel was about to lock during hard braking. The system then adjusted hydraulic pressure at each wheel, reducing the risk of skidding and helping the driver maintain steering control. Unlike Ford Thunderbird's earlier system, which only worked on the rear wheels, the Imperial's ABS controlled all four. Though more complex and expensive, it introduced a new level of active safety to American luxury sedans. Even so, most drivers at the time weren't ready to appreciate the technology. Chrysler's SureBrake system predated Bosch's modern ABS, first introduced on the Mercedes-Benz S-Class in 1978. Today, few remember the 1971 Imperial, but its role in the development of ABS makes it a prime example of a forgotten yet forward-thinking American car. 1963 Jeep Wagon Ear. Long before the term SUV became widespread and luxury SUVs formed their own segment, the 1963 Jeep Wagon Ear redefined what an off-road vehicle could be. It wasn't just a utilitarian machine. It blended real 4x4 capability with the comfort and convenience of a passenger car. This made it arguably the very first luxury SUV, one that was far ahead of its time and foresaw a major market shift. The Wagon Ear was a pioneer in many features that are now standard in modern SUVs. It was the first 4x4 vehicle to offer an automatic transmission, making it much more accessible than traditional off-roaders with only manual gearboxes. It also came with available amenities like independent front suspension, power steering, and optional air conditioning, setting the template for the modern family-friendly SUV. Its body-on-frame construction, shared with the Gladiator pickup, made it durable and rugged off-road, while its surprisingly refined interior elevated the driving experience. Despite its foundational contributions, many enthusiasts overlook the Wagon Ear's revolutionary status, making it a truly forgotten pioneer. (1962 Oldsmobile Jetfire). Before turbochargers became popular for both performance and fuel efficiency, the 1962 Oldsmobile Jetfire dared to be different. It holds the title of the world's first mass-produced car equipped with a turbocharger, beating European competitors to the punch and marking a major technological leap. Oldsmobile engineers paired a Garrett iResearch turbocharger with GM's 215 cubic-inch rocket V8, boosting output from 185 to 215 horsepower and torque from 230 pound-foot to 300 pound-foot. However, its downfall, and the reason it became forgotten, was tied to its unique fuel system. To prevent pre-ignition at higher boost levels, the engine required a special mix of distilled water and methyl alcohol, dubbed turbo rocket fluid. Owners often forgot to refill this fluid, which led to reduced performance and engine issues, eventually forcing Oldsmobile to discontinue the system. Despite its mechanical flaws and lack of widespread recognition, the Jetfire laid the groundwork for the broader adoption of forced induction. Today, the Jetfire rarely appears in mainstream collector circles. When it does, the original turbo-rocket fluid system is often removed, making a completely original unit extremely rare. 1958 Cadillac Eldorado Brom. The 1958 Cadillac Eldorado Brom broke the boundaries of luxury and innovation in ways few cars dared. It was the first production vehicle equipped with a self-leveling air suspension system, designed to maintain a constant ride height regardless of load. This system used compressed air instead of steel springs to deliver a smoother, more stable driving experience. Despite its advanced nature, the technology was still unrefined and prone to failure, leading many owners to convert to traditional suspension setups. But the Brom didn't stop there. It also featured power-adjustable seats, a vacuum-operated cruise control system, and an automatically opening trunk. In total, the car came equipped with more than 40 standard features, many of which wouldn't become mainstream for decades. Despite its groundbreaking technology, high costs, and maintenance issues meant only 400 units were sold in 1957, and even fewer, just 304 in 1958. As a result, the Eldorado Brom became one of America's forgotten cars that was far ahead of its time, quietly influencing future luxury car standards. 1940 Oldsmobile Series 60 and Series 70. The 1940 Oldsmobile Series 60 and Series 70 were the first mass-produced vehicles in the world to feature a fully automatic transmission. The Hydra-matic, developed by General Motors, this four-speed transmission eliminated the need for a clutch pedal and used a fluid coupling and planetary gear sets to shift gears automatically. Hydra-matic fundamentally changed the way Americans, and eventually the world, drove. At a time when stop-and-go city driving made manual transmissions a chore, Hydra-matic offered unmatched convenience. Though it didn't yet use a torque converter, its performance and ease of use set a new standard. Within 2 decades, automatic transmissions became the norm in the US thanks to this foundational design. Today, few outside the Oldsmobile enthusiast community remember which car started it all. The Series 60 was a true pioneer, quietly reshaping the driving experience for the entire world. (1934) Chrysler Airflow. The 1934 Chrysler Airflow introduced the concept of streamlining to America, becoming the first mass-produced car designed with aerodynamics in mind. Developed with input from aviation engineers and refined through wind tunnel testing at MIT, its teardrop shape sharply contrasted the tall, upright designs of the era. According to Hagerty, it reduced drag by up to 20% compared to conventional vehicles, a figure that directly impacted both performance and efficiency. The Airflow also featured a unibody construction that integrated the frame and body into a single structure, improving rigidity, safety, and ride quality. Engineers moved the engine forward and placed the cabin within the wheelbase, enhancing weight distribution and interior space. However, buyers rejected its radical styling, and sales plummeted. While its looks led to short-term failure, many of its innovations would later become industry standards. The Airflow paved the way for future aerodynamic icons like the Tatra 87. 1929 Cord L29. The 1929 Cord L29 was the first front-wheel drive car in America offered to the public, beating the Ruxton to market by a few months. It was the brainchild of former Miller engineer Cornelius Van Ranst and borrowed drivetrain concepts from race cars that had dominated the Indianapolis 500. It used a de Dion layout and inboard brakes. Built in Auburn, Indiana, the Cord was also the first American four-wheel drive car to use constant velocity joints, specifically dual hook joints, a now standard feature in front-wheel drive vehicles. The absence of rear driveline components and a straight frame allowed the L29 to sit significantly lower than competitors, which typically stood over 6 feet tall. It was powered by a 301 cubic inch Lycoming straight-8 engine producing 125 horsepower, which could propel the 4,700-pound car to a top speed of 80 miles per hour. Priced around $3,000, the L29 ranked among the most expensive American luxury cars of the time, alongside Cadillac and Lincoln. However, it couldn't survive the economic devastation of the Great Depression, and by 1932, production ceased with only 4,400 units sold.